Hi everyone, this is another video for the course I will miss the most, and it is English for Translation 6. The grammar topic that I'm going to explain in the following minutes will be passive voice. Yes, the classic one for non-English speakers students. So I think that it's an easy part of grammar. Of course, only if you studied it a little bit, so let's look at it. I think that to know how the passive voice works in a sentence, we must first know how the active voice does. And that's right, its counterpart. So the basic active voice structure is composed of first the subject, verb, and object. For example, Johnny eats a Maruchan. In this sentence, the subject performs the verb's action. Johnny is the agent. And maybe you want to know on what occasions do we use the active voice. Well, when we want to talk about the things people do, basically. So we can perceive it in a strong, clear, and a direct tone. On the other hand, the passive voice has somewhat different structure. Using the same idea as in the previous example, the passive voice is composed of first the object, which would be the subject, plus the conjugated form of the verb to be, plus the verb in the past participle, and finally accompanied by the preposition by, the agent which will become the object. So we have a Maruchan is eaten by Johnny, and we use the passive voice when we want to talk about what happens to things or people. For a better understanding, see the following comparison. In the active voice, Johnny is the doer of the action. Come is the conjugated actions depending on the tense. And finally, the object, that would be Maruchan. While in the passive voice, this changes causing the object to become the subject, which is acted upon by the verb. And it is the one who receives the action. And then the action itself. And finally, the agent of this action. To be able to change a sentence that is in active voice to passive voice, you simply have to first identify the verb tense and then the object, since this, in the passive voice, will become a subject. So these are some of the verb tenses when switching to passive voice. There are more, of course. For example, with modal verbs, it practically happens the same.
But just look for it by yourself.
In the passive voice, it is sometimes not necessary to specify the agent. It is an obvious information. For example, a lady was robbed in the subway. Here it's obvious that it was a thief. So these kind of sentences are usually used in news reporting and other kinds of writing, where the process and events are more interesting rather than the person doing the action. But also, there are other cases when the one who does the action is not important. Anyway, in cases where it's used the preposition by, it is because the one who does the action is important. For example, the persistence of memory was painted by Salvador Dali. It is an emphasizing that this person was the painter who made that piece. This kind of grammatical voice construction is also used in many ways, since reporting speech exercises to writings to make them more formal. It's a matter of learning certain changes in sentences, and that's all. Easy peasy. Okay, have a nice day.